performers who DLED in front of their audiences. Have you ever considered the possibility of a performance concluding with a performer's death? In this captivating video, we delve into the stories of 5 entertainers who tragically lost their lives on stage, leaving audiences in disbelief. We will uncover the shocking accounts of unfortunate events that transformed performances into chilling reminders of life's fragility. Join us as we explore these haunting incidents where life's unpredictable nature was captured live, leaving a lasting impact on those who witnessed them. Don't miss this exploration into the unexpected tragedies that can occur during live performances. Irma Bule. In April 2016, a 29-year-old Indonesian pop singer and mother of 3 named Irma Bule took the stage for what would be her final performance. Known to loved ones as Inang, Irma had risen to local fame within the competitive dangdut music scene through her captivating and risky snake dance performances. During this particular show in a small village in West Java, she incorporated a king cobra named Rianti into her act, a snake whose venom glands were intact and potent. As the performance began, the audience watched, mesmerized, as Irma sang and danced with the cobra draped over her shoulders. While her usual acts involved non-venomous pythons with secured mouths, this time was different. Rianti was a venomous snake with an unsealed mouth, escalating the danger significantly. Irma had, however, become somewhat accustomed to these high-risk performances, as they drew larger crowds and thus greater earnings within the dangdut industry, where young women from humble backgrounds vied for attention and success. During the second song of her set, tragedy struck. Irma unintentionally stepped on Rianti's tail, provoking the snake to bite her on the thigh. A gasp arose from the audience as Irma's body reacted to the sudden venom injection. She briefly paused her dance, sitting down in evident pain. The snake handler rushed from offstage, pulling the cobra away and offering Irma an antidote. Despite the severity of the situation, Irma declined the antidote and bravely resumed her performance, determined to finish her set. For the next 45 minutes, Irma persevered, her voice carrying through the night air even as the venom coursed through her system. Initially, she seemed to be coping, but the snake's toxins soon took hold. She began to vomit and experience convulsions, her body racked with pain as the neurotoxins attacked her nervous system. Despite her obvious suffering, Irma continued to sing, her willpower pitted against the relentless venom. As the show went on, her condition worsened. Irma lost control of her movements, her body seized by convulsions as the toxins progressively shut down her nervous system. Finally, after nearly an hour, she collapsed onto the stage. The music stopped, leaving the audience in stunned silence as Irma lay motionless on the ground. The snake handler and other crew members rushed to her side, desperately attempting to save her. They administered first aid and transported her quickly to the closest hospital. Tragically, it was too late. The venom had already done its deadly work. Irma was pronounced dead shortly after arriving at the hospital, her life tragically cut short by a single venomous snake bite. News of Irma's death reverberated through her local community and quickly garnered national and international attention. Many were horrified that she had continued her performance for so long after being bitten. Later, Irma's mother, Encom, revealed that her daughter, known as Inang within the family, might not have realized that the snake was venomous. Encom explained that Irma had been instructed to perform with Rianti without taping its mouth shut. This information added a further layer of tragedy to the already heartbreaking event. Tiago Klimkiewicz. During the solemn occasion of Good Friday, April 6, 2012, the close-knit community of Itapecerica da Serra in São Paulo, Brazil came together to witness the annual reenactment of The Passion of the Christ. This poignant play, a cornerstone of their Easter traditions, depicted the final days of Jesus Christ, drawing residents together in shared reflection and faith. Among the dedicated cast was 27-year-old Tiago Klimkiewicz, who had taken on the challenging role of Judas Iscariot, the disciple whose betrayal ultimately led to Jesus' crucifixion. Tiago, a familiar face in the local theater scene, had participated in the play for the past 3 years, demonstrating a deep commitment to his craft. Over time, he had become well acquainted with the safety protocols and equipment, particularly the harness provided by the local fire department, designed to ensure the actor's well-being during potentially dangerous scenes. This specific harness was crucial for the scene depicting Judas's demise, a scene Tiago had meticulously rehearsed numerous times. As the play unfolded under the watchful eyes of the audience, the narrative reached Judas's pivotal moment. The scene required Tiago to dramatically leap from a small ladder, mimicking the act of hanging, his feet momentarily leaving the ground. This action, carefully choreographed and set against the backdrop of a symbolic tree, was intended to evoke the weight of Judas's betrayal. Initially, the scene appeared to proceed as planned, but in a horrifying turn of events, tragedy struck. When Tiago jumped from the ladder, his safety vest, concealed beneath his robe, unexpectedly shifted out of place. Instead of acting as a protective measure, the vest tightened around his neck, tragically constricting his airway and cutting off his oxygen supply. What made the situation even more dire was that both the audience and the other actors on stage remained unaware of the unfolding crisis, mistaking Tiago's struggle for a deliberate part of his performance. For 4 agonizing minutes, Tiago fought desperately to breathe, his silent struggle hidden from those around him. Janaina Carvalho, a fellow actor sharing the stage with Tiago, was the first to sense that something was amiss. When Tiago failed to deliver his lines and remained unresponsive, a wave of concern washed over her. She quickly realized that Tiago was in grave danger, and her alarm alerted the other actors to the unfolding tragedy. Together, they sprang into action, desperately trying to help their colleague. One of the actors, in a frantic search for assistance, approached Luis Carlos Rosner, a sandwich vendor who happened to be near the stage. The actor urgently pleaded with Luis for a knife, explaining the desperate need to cut Tiago free from the harness. Though understandably hesitant at first, given the unusual and alarming request, Luis quickly grasped the urgency of the situation and handed over his knife. With the knife, they were able to cut Tiago down and immediately rushed him to the nearest hospital, Santa Casa de Itapecherica de Serra. Upon arrival at the hospital, the medical team assessed Tiago's condition and delivered the grim news. He had suffered severe cerebral anoxia, a devastating brain injury caused by prolonged oxygen deprivation. Tiago was placed in a medically induced coma, his chances of recovery hanging precariously in the balance. Despite the fervent prayers and hopes of the community, Tiago's condition remained critical. After 17 agonizing days, on April 22, 2012, the medical team made the heartbreaking decision to withdraw life support. Tiago Klimkiewicz was pronounced dead, leaving behind a void in the hearts of his family, friends, and the entire community. Tiago's untimely death sent shockwaves through Itapecerica de Serra. The play, meant to be a powerful reminder of betrayal and sacrifice, had tragically transformed into a real-life tragedy, a stark and painful illustration of life's unpredictable nature. The event that had brought the community together in shared faith now served as a somber testament to the fragility of life. In the wake of the incident, an investigation was launched to determine the cause of the fatal accident. The harness and rope used in the performance were sent to the Criminal Institute of Sorocaba for thorough examination. Leading the investigation was police investigator José Victor Bassetti, who noted a puzzling detail. The equipment had been borrowed from the local fire department and had been used without incident in previous years' performances. This raised a crucial question. What had gone wrong this time? Investigators meticulously explored several possibilities. They examined whether the rope's knot had been tied incorrectly, potentially contributing to the malfunction of the harness. Another theory focused on the possibility that material from Tiago's costume might have become entangled in the harness, causing it to tragically tighten when he jumped. The investigation aimed to shed light on the specific circumstances that led to Tiago's death, but definitive answers remained elusive. Share your condolences for Tiago's tragic passing. Comment with RIP to pay your respects. Leslie Cameron Harvey. On May 3, 1972, the music world was struck by tragedy when 27-year-old Scottish guitarist Leslie Cameron Harvey lost his life during a live performance. Harvey, a pivotal member of the band Stone the Crows, was playing at the Top Rank Suite in Swansea, Wales when a fatal accident cut his career and life short. Born in Glasgow, Scotland on September 13, 1944, Leslie Harvey was immersed in music from a young age, following in the footsteps of his older brother musician Alex Harvey. Though he had the chance to join the renowned band The Animals, Leslie opted to remain with his brother's group, the Alex Harvey Soul Band. He later became part of the Blues Council, but tragedy struck in 1965 when their tour van crashed, resulting in the deaths of 2 band members and the subsequent disbanding of the group. In 1969, Leslie joined the band Cartoon and toured the United States, opening for major acts like Led Zeppelin and Spirit. He even contributed his guitar skills to a solo album by Morris Gibb of the Bee Gees, an album that remained largely unreleased. That same year, he co-founded Stone the Crows, with Peter Grant managing them alongside the iconic band Led Zeppelin. The night of May 3, 1972, took a devastating turn at the Top Rank Suite. During the performance, Leslie reached for a microphone that was not properly grounded while still holding his guitar. This action created a deadly electrical circuit, sending a powerful surge of electricity through his body. He collapsed on stage, and despite immediate attempts to separate him from the guitar and summon an ambulance, Leslie was declared dead upon arrival at the hospital. His sudden and shocking death reverberated throughout the music industry, bringing the crucial issue of electrical safety to the forefront. Venues began to enforce stricter safety regulations, and equipment manufacturers implemented improvements to prevent similar accidents from happening again. Leslie's untimely passing left a deep void in the lives of his family and bandmates. His brother Alex, deeply affected by the loss, continued his music career, but Leslie's absence was keenly felt. Stone the Crows, despite performing for a period after Leslie's death, ultimately struggled to carry on without their talented guitarist and eventually disbanded. Sarah Gaillard-Guillot. On June 29, 2013, tragedy struck during a performance of Cirque du Soleil's Ka at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. The audience, captivated by the intricate choreography and awe-inspiring acrobatics, watched as seasoned performer Sarah Gaillard-Guillot took to the stage. A 31-year-old Parisian with over 20 years of experience, Sarah was a beloved member of the Ka cast since 2006, respected by her fellow performers and the students she mentored. As the show approached its grand finale, the performers prepared for a dramatic battle scene set on a vertical stage, a complex sequence requiring absolute precision and trust in the safety equipment. During this scene, Sarah was being lifted high above the stage when disaster unfolded. The wire rope responsible for hoisting her snapped, sending her plummeting nearly 100 feet into a hidden area below, out of sight of the horrified audience. At first, many spectators assumed the fall was a planned part of the performance. However, Sarah's desperate cries during her descent, combined with the visible shock and distress of the other performers, quickly revealed the horrifying truth of the accident. The show was immediately stopped, and the audience was informed that the performance had ended, offering them refunds or vouchers for future shows. Sarah was rushed to a nearby hospital, but tragically, she was pronounced dead at 11:43 p.m. Her death marked the first onstage fatality in Cirque du Soleil's 30-year history, a devastating blow to the company and the entire entertainment industry. In the wake of this tragedy, Cirque du Soleil's founder, Guy Laliberté, issued a statement expressing his deep sorrow over Sarah's passing, recognizing her immense talent and unwavering commitment to her craft. Performances of Ka were suspended while investigations into the incident began. The Nevada Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, launched an inquiry to determine the cause of the accident. Their findings revealed a combination of inadequate training and a malfunction in the safety equipment that led to Sarah's fatal fall. The wire rope that had snapped during her rapid ascent had become dislodged from a pulley and rubbed against a sharp edge, ultimately causing it to break. OSHA cited Cirque du Soleil for multiple safety violations, including insufficient performer training and a lack of adequate safety measures during performances. These violations resulted in fines exceeding $25,000. The MGM Grand, where the accident occurred, also received a $7,000 fine for exposing its employees to unsafe working conditions. The investigation into Sarah's death shed light on the heartbreaking circumstances surrounding her passing. A highly skilled performer and a mother of 2 young children, her sudden loss was deeply mourned by her family, colleagues, and the wider community. In response to the tragedy, Cirque du Soleil undertook a thorough review of its safety protocols and procedures, vowing to implement stronger safety measures to prevent a similar tragedy from ever happening again. The show Koi resumed on July 16, 2013, with the first performance dedicated to Sarah's memory. Further analysis revealed that the speed of Sarah's ascent played a critical role in the accident. The rapid movement had put excessive strain on the rope, leading to fatal friction and subsequent snapping. This highlighted the need for more comprehensive training and rigorous equipment maintenance, crucial lessons that Cirque du Soleil and the broader performing arts community took seriously. Sarah's death also prompted a wider conversation about safety within the performing arts. While her accident was the most severe in Cirque du Soleil's history, it was not an isolated incident. In 2007, 2 performers sustained serious injuries during a performance of Zumanity, and in 2009, an acrobat died during a training session in Montreal. These tragedies underscored the inherent risks involved in high-intensity performances and the crucial need for constant vigilance regarding safety practices. Beyond her role as a performer, Sarah was also a beloved teacher at Surfit, a fitness and circus arts program she co-founded in Las Vegas. Her students and their families grieved her loss, sharing countless tributes on social media, expressing their sadness and acknowledging the profound impact she had on their lives. In the difficult months following the accident, Cirque du Soleil faced the challenge of moving forward while honoring Sarah's memory and acknowledging the gravity of the tragedy. Known for pushing the boundaries of live performance, the company had to confront the inherent dangers that accompany such innovation. The lessons learned from Sarah's death profoundly shaped Cirque du Soleil's future decisions and influenced safety practices across the entire industry. Sarah's life was cut short in a tragic accident. Comment with RIP to honor her memory. Tommy Cooper. The world of British comedy suffered a devastating and unforeseen loss on April 15, 1984, with the passing of the iconic Tommy Cooper. The celebrated Welsh comedian and magician was in the middle of a live performance at Her Majesty's Theatre in London when tragedy struck. Cooper, easily recognizable by his towering 6'4" frame and trademark red fez, was beloved for his unique comedic style, a blend of magic tricks gone hilariously wrong and impeccable comedic timing. However, on this evening, broadcast live to millions, a performance took a tragic turn. Cooper was appearing on Live from Her Majesty's, a well-known television program, a format he was extremely familiar with after a long and successful career. The audience was eagerly awaiting his signature brand of entertainment. As his segment began, Cooper took his place on stage to perform a classic routine featuring a large magic cloak. Assisted by his stagehand, he put on the cloak while the show's host, Jimmy Tarbuck, remained hidden behind the curtain, feeding Cooper various props to dramatically pull from the cloak's depths, building to a comedic crescendo. The scene was pure Tommy Cooper, a blend of apparent chaos, side-splitting humor, and delightful unpredictability. Suddenly, mid-act, Cooper collapsed to his knees. The audience, fully accustomed to his physical and often slapstick style of comedy, erupted in laughter, believing it to be a planned part of the routine. But Cooper didn't rise. Instead, he slumped forward against the stage curtains. Initially, even those working behind the scenes assumed it was another one of Cooper's jokes. However, as moments ticked by, it became clear that something was very wrong. Tarbuck, still concealed behind the curtain, saw Cooper's unmoving form and realized the severity of the situation. The show's director, recognizing the gravity of the situation, made the quick decision to cut away to an unscheduled commercial break. Backstage, the crew rushed to Cooper's aid. His son, present at the performance, voiced a terrifying realization. Given his father's history of back problems, a deliberate collapse like this was entirely out of character. While attempts were made to revive the comedian, the show's producer, David Bell, was faced with a gut-wrenching choice: continue the live broadcast or abruptly end the program. After a brief but intense discussion, the difficult decision was made to carry on with the show. Leigh Dennis and Dustin G., a comedic duo scheduled to follow Cooper, were thrust into the unenviable position of performing under the shadow of a tragedy unfolding just feet away. Completely unaware of the events backstage, the audience continued to laugh and enjoy the performance, while Cooper's body remained hidden behind the curtain. Once Dennis and G completed their set, carefully exiting the stage to avoid disturbing the scene behind them, Cooper was finally taken from the theater on a stretcher. He was rushed to Westminster Hospital, but sadly, he was pronounced dead upon arrival, the victim of a massive heart attack. These deeply moving stories serve as a stark reminder of how unpredictable life can be. If you're interested in more captivating stories and shocking discoveries, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Iconic Inside, and click the notification bell to stay informed. We'll have more compelling content for you in our next episode, so don't miss it. I am ready to rewrite the next segment of the transcript whenever you are. Just let me know which story you'd like me to work on next.